And now will be the last question that I'm going to make. I shall try to save some time for questions, and everybody help me with that. My name is Andrey Sechin. I'm the scientific director of the company Racurs. Those of you who don't know me. And in fact, I will make two presentations during my intervention. One of them will be about cloud technology, because what I'm going to tell you at the end is about this. And the second one is about stereo photogrammetry and the stereo drawing with the use of the spectacles. Dmitry, can you show these glasses once again? 3D glasses. There is no telephone inside, but this is the box costing $5 to $10, and you insert an easy, regular smartphone there, and you can do stereo work with that. But I'll start from what we already mentioned. We'll start with cloud technologists. Where did we get them from? In the previous presentation, Dmitry was scaring everybody with 2 weeks calculations or something. For how many iterations? Anyway, if we take 10 times more of them, then we'll do it 10 times faster. And that's exactly the project we did. We could do the calculation on 300 core CPUs and 600, and it's done much faster. And the actual technology and distributed platform must be a special platform with special storage system. I already discussed it at the previous conferences. I'm not going to go deeper into it, but this is exactly the method which allows us to use all the modern methods and ways, all these dense DTMs, DSMs, true orthophotos, quickly calculate. If you, of course, have a powerful computer cluster, and such a computer cluster, not everybody can afford to buy such a computer cluster. That's why we're saying that there is a possibility to deploy it in cloud, one for many users. If you want to have it, you can hire 200, 300, 500 cores, calculate, pay money for this, and don't pay anything else. Speaking about this cloud technologists, what are these cloud technologists in terms of photomod? In fact, these are 4 components. First of all, it's a special version of photomod. Photomod high-performance computing. The special photomod version developed for computer clusters. You can develop it as an accessible photomod with some remote computing systems. This is RSTP developed by us. This is the IP with which the user can write their own web interface and say that, for instance, I have this input data, like space data. Here I use STM. These are the boundaries. I want orthophoto, mosaic of this scale. You put in certain parameters, push the button, and in your output folder, in about 1 hour, you get your result. So this REST IP allows an experienced customer to develop such processing chains, whereas in the photomod itself, for such a processing, we would need about 100, maybe 200 parameters, many of them. We specifically have simplified it. We didn't calculate it, and we have a maximum 30 parameters for any automated processing. In principle, this is for quite a relaxed professionals, and it's based on PostgreSQL server, which is used for this. And as it has been mentioned a number of times today, automation, of course, is good. Clusters are good, but what to do with stereo work, which are needed for cadastre? This is what Konstantin mentioned. or on what to do about that. And when we developed this cloud photo mod, one of the tasks was to develop thin stereo client. What does it mean? It means that a person is at his working station. The cluster could be in a totally different place or city, and on a stereo monitor with the simplest program, he doesn't need a photo mod. He interfaces with a server, does his stereo work. All the data are stored not even on a computer, but somewhere in the cloud. But in principle, you can download it anyway. And this thin stereo client was implemented based on the equipment that photomod users are regularly using. It's either passive or active stereo monitor. Here you see a flowchart how it works. I'm not going to go deeper into it, but similar solution is ML desktop or MNC. It's just that here we show two images simultaneously by a press of button or keyboard button press. It is like stereo video. Maybe some of you have own 3D TVs where you're also running things with a mouse. And the question is, this technology, naturally it's not going to be faster. It's clear, because your clusters are located one place and the stereo operator is sitting in another. While he pressed the button, while this mouse click reaches the server, and for them to retriangulate it and return back, you need time for that. Then the farther the survey is from the user, the longer is the time. We made such an experiment. First, we placed it at our place and did the same vectorization on the same project, but by using not standard photomod stereo, but this remote stereo client. We had 20% increase in time. Then we launched this server in Tatarstan. Operator was sitting in Moscow. It proved to be even longer. And we have selected for the work the most experienced operators. I don't know how they're working, how quickly they're pressing the mouse buttons, but of course it's a bit unusual because they feel the lag time. If the operators were less experienced, I think the difference would be less. But as far as the difference, which is related to local network work, first we code the image, encode the image on the server, submitted by server. This is the second lag that you cannot get rid of, and then we decode it. So basically we have done it. If one uses apparatus speed up work, then instead of this additional 20 minutes, you'll get it within 1 minutes. It will be much faster. And last time I told you that the stereo transmission method used for standard stereo monitors can be used for another equipment. And one of the simplest ones, which caused a lot of interest, was the simple add-ons to smartphones. They cost $5 to $10. They could be even card box made. The two viewers with the simple optics and the smartphone with the screen divided in two. We showed how it works in Stuttgart, and this is the picture from the InterGeo with the guy holding the smartphone with two images, left and right. When you insert it into this viewing device, you see everything in stereo. What can such an app do on Android smartphone? Some of it, which is described here, it can already do, and you can view it the day after tomorrow. Some of it are going to be implemented very soon. Of course, you can upload and download data in stereo, increase and reduce, multiply and reduce the image, build the parallax, adjust parallax, change the right image to left image by axis. You can measure points with manual or with correlator, measure lengths between 2 points by thinking whether areas need to be measured at all. We'll implement another function, import export vector data from smartphone file system, because we will need localized data. If there is some MTS server which shows vector 3D information, then it's possible also to upload it to watch stereo. And if it is expected that this smartphone will be used not in the office but in the field, we'll be able to use the built-in GNSS coordinates to be properly positioned when you come with your smartphone and the owner doesn't want to let you in to the grounds, and you take this place and you position it to the actual location. At the moment, what you can see here, you can see on the smartphone a photo mod interface with quite small buttons. We have a mouse connected to a smartphone by Bluetooth, and these buttons are not easy to press. That's why we have invented, so far we haven't implemented it, such an idea when you see only a stereo window and vectors, and if you need to change the direction, you turn your head right. Instead of the stereo picture, you see the buttons, you select it and then press it and then turn the head back, which I don't know whether it will be convenient or not, but this is what we're thinking. Where it will be useful, we don't know yet. Now the convention of cadastre engineers is convened. We showed to them how it works. Anna told you that municipalities show interest to stereo models, and in fact our software is not related to photomod. It consists of 2 parts: stereo server and stereo client. Stereo server doesn't care about what is the software there. They could be hex maps, for instance. Do they have it? No. Anyway, maybe Intergraph or Leica. And remotely in stereo you could see the screen of Leica, Intergraph, or something else. I'm telling you this because, for instance, I don't remember what the project is called. You can watch it in stereo as well. Already, you can do that. Perhaps it will be interesting for housing and utilities projects who use GIS as an add-on, maybe some other innovative projects. So it will be interesting for us to see who will find this interesting, because we have published as a free of charge add-on to the cloud technologists that we were developing. Again, what would this system consist of? What do you need to work with stereo classes? You need a server which has rectified photogrammetric block. It doesn't matter whether they come from photomod or not. When we're going to showcase it to you as a server, we'll use the same notebook that we're using now to make presentations, or maybe some powerful computer cluster which will provide simultaneous access to many operators for stereo drawing. And you need such simple add-on, very regular Android smartphone, no real special requirements, and Bluetooth powered mouse. That's it. Thank you very much. I'm ready for your questions.
Feel free to fire your questions.